Good afternoon. We will try to keep, so we have two presentations here this session. It makes it look like one presentation with a giant title. It's two. We'll try to keep it nice and fast. Yes, no,
It's not moving.
just kidding. How about arrow?
And that isn't moving it?
No, he said this one was for the,
Why isn't that moving it?
he said you just hit the little button
Oh,
on the button. Would you run out and get him? And in the meantime, I will talk with my notes. Give me a second. So what you will see is a slide that says that we have different programs. So we are a partnership between two PIC programs, pollution identification and correction, focused very, very similar to stormwater, but focused on shellfish issues. We have different water bodies. We're in Skagit County, they're in Whatcom County. We have lakes all over, we have streams, we have all kinds of different water bodies. But we have a similar problem. We have learned from each other over the years. Whatcom would do something cool, and I would say, hey, tell me more about that. We'd do something cool, and their website would shift to look more like ours. It's been really great to learn back and forth between each other. And so we decided that it would be great, since we have similar issues. We all have bacteria problems. We have similar dog poop issues in our counties. We decided it would be really great to work together on this. And so our PIC programs won a grant to support this project in 2023. The PIC programs are not tied to this ridiculous 5-year cycle that all the stormwater people get stuck with. So this program has already launched, but our stormwater programs are using this as our social marketing project for this round. We're also getting significant financial support from internal stormwater programs and also Skagit County's stormwater program and PIC program funding. So we have kind of 3 different funding sources and a big project together. It doesn't work. It won't advance. So our team, you see 2 members of our team. We also have Anna, who is sitting right here. She has incredible graphic design skills, really great outreach skills. Brittany works with Kate, and she's really good doing pop-up tables and just being creative and talking to people. We have a rotating variety of interns that are helping, seasonal staff. And then Molly works with Whatcom's PIC program. So what's been really nice about that is we have a variety of opinions, a variety of skills, and we've really been able to work together to make this work. Our joint program goal. So our goal was to ensure that dog owners, we know that dogs move back and forth between our borders. We're right next to each other. Everybody hikes the Chuckanuts. Everybody, we go to Lake Whatcom, they come down to us. These dogs are moving all over the place. And we know that it takes people 2 to 7 times to get the message, to see the message, to have that sink in. So we want those dog owners, wherever they are in each of our counties, to see the same exact message over and over, whether they hear it, whether they see it on a sign, everywhere, to get that to sink in. We are focused on scooping in natural areas and in yards, because those are our 2 biggest issues. Everybody scoops on their walks, but they don't scoop on trails because they feel like, does it work now? Different water bodies, similar problem. Yes. This is our team. This is our goal. Yeah. So I forget what I was saying there, but we are moving on. So what we started, we learned about a theory, a practice called root cause analysis. So it's very, very similar to the planning that you would do with social marketing. We had a group called EFC West come out and teach us how to do root cause analysis and kind of campaign design. And so I wish we had a lot more time to discuss this process. Please come talk to me later if you'd like to learn it. We recorded, there were YouTube sessions during COVID when nobody was doing anything. And so we have all of these things recorded, and I could share all of this with you. We pulled together everybody who had done any kind of pet waste outreach, and we threw them in a room together, and we did what's called a root cause analysis. And that is looking for the root cause of why somebody doesn't do something. They don't pick up in their yards just because they're lazy. Some of them do, but there are other reasons that they don't pick up in their yards. And you have to ask why 5 times or more sometimes to get to that root cause. And then you know what you have to attack, why, what your program needs to attack. Because if you're assuming that everybody's lazy or that everybody has a mobility problem or something like that, you could be missing other things. So we looked at all the political, environmental, social, technological, economic, and legal reasons that people don't scoop. Is it just the arrow?
Just click it. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. The root cause analysis looks like this. It looks like a hot mess. We went through a lot of Post-it notes. But it really enlightened us as to why people aren't scooping in their yards. We've been talking with people for a long time. We've heard a lot of reasons. It was great to put it all up on a wall and see what it said. There's a lot of reasons. And so when you're looking at the reasons, you want to think, you can't work on everything, right? You need to narrow down on what you have the leverage for and the influence for. If fixing this thing would solve the world's problems, but you have no opportunity to do it, don't do that. If you have all the opportunity to do it, but it's not really going to solve anything, don't do that. Pick something where you have the leverage and the impact, the influence to really make an impact. And so we went through each and every one of those causes to see what we thought we had impact and leverage on. And then came developing the message. So when we're developing the message, we are coming up with a persona. It's a stereotype, more or less, of different kinds of people that we would like to do this behavior. And so we, in our team, everybody split up and everybody drew a picture, even if they're a terrible artist, this person was better than me. And we put a name to the person and we start to think about what are their values? What is their life experience like? How do they feel about things? What do they know? What do they think they know, but they don't actually know? Who do they trust for this information? And so when you come up with this it is a stereotype, but when you come up with this, it gives you a way to think about who you're dealing with. And then we came up with a bunch of taglines. We landed almost all of our taglines had scoop it, bag it, trash it at the end of it. And that is what Whatcom County has been using all along. And you know what? We thought, let's just get rid of the nonsense in the front. We can use that here and there, but scoop it, bag it, trash it. That's what we want them to do, all the things. And then I think we're down to you. Our campaign tactics. The little on button. There's all of it.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna fly through these. Because there's so much we could talk about with our tactics, but if you have any questions or want more information, please email us or call us. We'd be happy to help you learn more. So one of the main things we've done is trusted messenger kits. So we're handing out kits to rescues, vets, and trainers. Because a disruptive event like your pet getting sick or getting a brand new dog and being overwhelmed is a great time to get some new information and change your behavior. Our kits are very health focused, so we made it all about healthy dogs for this part of the program. We have a I Heart Healthy Dog sticker and a little brag card that tells all about the poop problem and how your dog can get sick from not cleaning up pet waste. And we have some stickers and bags and all of that. And then we also have info we have a pledge program and an ambassador program. The ambassador program is Whatcom County only, but it's really successful. That's basically another kit that we give out to community members. It includes a yard sign, which is the most popular part of the kit. So people can disseminate the message for us instead of us being the only ones doing it. So that kind of goes along the lines of what we're trying to do with these vets and trainers as well. Also, I'll mention with the kits, the hardest part of that was getting people to take the kits. So we did try calling and emailing vets, and that did not work well. So we put together the kits, went to the vet offices, and handed them to the front desk people if they were interested, and that was the best way for us to do that. Another tactic is pop-up events. We did close to 40 last year, I think. We did a lot. We hired temporary staff and trained them. These booths were meant to reach people with the pledge, and we had people do a tailored pledge for their individual challenges with scooping. So we didn't just say pick up every single poop, which is what we'd been doing for a while, but we actually said, like, when is it challenging for you to scoop? And can you make a pledge to improve on that aspect? And it was really critical that we hired temporary staff to just do these events. We did a lot of advertising. So we did a lot of social media videos, reels that were really fun that Anna led, radio and streaming services. We did Spotify ads, and those were really economical. If you're looking for advertising options, it was pretty easy and economical. Radio ads are more expensive, but they're also fairly easy. What else? We did trail signs that are pretty awesome. Anna designed these as well based off of Snohomish's sign, but we changed it up for our kind of look and feel of our campaign. This is our joint website that we were able to create as a Google site. It's just super simple, but we wanted to have a landing page that both of our counties could send people to because we did have individual websites. These are some additional advertising things that Whatcom was doing. I mentioned the Scooping Ambassador program. So we do like little interviews with some of the ambassadors, and then we use them in our newsletters and in mailers, and those have been really successful at getting us new ambassadors into the program. And then all the dogs that you're seeing in all of these, and also throughout the presentation, they're from our We Scoop photo contest. We do a photo contest every year, and then we can use the photos in all of our advertisements. And so evaluation, it's challenging with pet waste. We're doing a survey, a pre and post campaign survey, and that's all through Facebook. We also are doing trail surveys, which we're actually going out and marking poop piles and counting them using survey 123. But measuring the water quality just isn't reliable because there's other sources. So we're not doing that as part of this program. This is one of the maps that we created with the survey 123. So we do this in the beginning of the summer and then at the end of the summer. We also take these maps out to the parks and print them out so that people can see what's going on in the area that they're visiting. What worked well? The combined funding. So Karen had the grant funding and I have local funding, and that gave us a lot of flexibility because some things just aren't harder to do with the grant and easier to do with local funding. We also had a lot of different, I think Karen touched on this, but our team had a lot of different strengths. Anna's super creative and great with the digital stuff. And then we have people who are really good at in-person outreach. So that just helped. More minds, more ideas, more fun. We had a lot of fun planning and doing all of this. We had like monthly meetings for a while, and we got together in person and brainstormed, and it was just great. I highly recommend coordinating at in-person meetings if you can. And then the temporary staff for pop-up events was crucial. We couldn't have gotten this amount of work done without hiring those temporary staff. And it is a bit of an undertaking, but we used a training. So we trained all of the staff at the beginning of the summer, and then went from there, and that really helped them. They were able to do like some role playing scenarios at the training and just get more comfortable talking to people about the issue at the booth. It was challenging that we had different landscapes. Whatcom County has a lot of parks and trails, and Skagit had less in their areas. So we did a lot of the park pop-ups, and they did some more at pet stores, and some of the different, they took on some of the heavy lifting on like the social media. Merging the styles of our creative work was super hard. We both had individual styles, yeah. And it was a little bit hard because we both kind of like had a little bit of a hold on our own styles. So figuring out how to merge those was a little bit challenging, but also fun. Keeping deliverables reasonable and not overestimating staff capacity. We had so many ideas in the meetings, and just keeping it not taking on too much was where we had to like hold back in some ways. And then measuring success, it's really hard to tell if we're making an impact. I think that's it.
Somebody have questions?
Yes, thank you.
So they theoretically, yes, vets are really hard to catch. So we're talking with the front desk staff a lot. We also, didn't Brittany come up with like a little introductory page to deliver to them? Theoretically, we want them to give these to people whose dogs are having a poop related illness. In practice, they're giving them to like whoever, you know, and we don't have control over that, and that's okay. The card on the front is very descriptive. We've made sure that the card that's stapled onto the front really talks about the poop problem and how your dog can get sick with this. And then the back talks about the solution and scooping and why. So at least the kit has something on it that can speak for itself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who think their dog like magically will never step in poop. I've had people tell me that. So that we didn't really want to tackle that one. You know, yeah, they're stepping in poop and whatnot, but there's a lot of people, especially in their yards, who will go like, I don't go in the yard. That's the dog's space. Therefore, you know, they only think about themselves stepping in it as a gross thing, and their dog, I don't know.
We have used that messaging a little bit. I don't think it's on that kit in particular, but we've done some like videos and things about the dog running through in the yard and showing the paw prints and tracking inside and showing bacteria on there visually. But I don't think we had room for it on the little card.
Yeah. It doesn't feel as successful a message as your dog could get sick from poop being in the yard. I think we have a lot of experience, especially in the PIC programs, of people who, everybody believes that clean water is important. Everybody will say clean water is important, but it's never important enough for them to actually do anything because it's somebody else is doing it. And so this really is a message that brings it to them. This is my dog. I care about the health of my dog. My dog is a family member. Therefore, I need to do this for them. And so we don't talk about clean water hardly at all, which scandalizes our PIC managers, our grant managers. They're just like, there should be clean water everywhere. And that, like, our experience says, don't say it.
It was also one of the root cause analysis personalities that we came up with.
Well, that's where our survey falls short, because we don't, of course, the grant, it makes it impossible to do a survey. So I had to do the survey under like our own budget, which we don't have a budget for that. So we're doing the best we can with what we got. So I did a survey before we started this campaign, before any messaging went out, anything, asking about their behaviors in their yard. If you don't scoop, when is that? What are the things that stop you from scooping? And so I should be able to run that same survey afterwards and then see how things are changing.
Also, in addition to that survey, we tried to survey people that pledged at the booth. We got a really low response rate, but we did get a little information from that. And this year we're going to try to add like a texting aspect and see if we can follow up with people on their pledge and have them take a survey through text.
And that's where it gets awkward because we don't have that capacity in Skagit, but Whatcom does. So like a lot of the things that she said, we don't have the capacity to do. So Skagit is not hiring temporary staff. We just can't. So it'll be really interesting to see how things change. Because when we survey, we are asking, are you in Skagit or are you in Whatcom too? So hopefully we'll be able to see of all these different random things we've tried, what worked.
We've always said at least once a week. And that's what the city of Bellingham, who did a lot of research probably about 10 years ago, that's what they recommend. So that's what we say. And more frequently if you can. And if it's going to rain a lot, we always add that in.
Mm-hmm. And we have to put it in the trash aspect to just like make sure that people are getting it in the trash, because a lot of people will scoop their yards, and we found some festering, disgusting piles of dog poop that people are like, oh, I clean my yard all the time. I put it right over there next to the creek.
Over the
So
fence.
over the fence, yeah, legit. So yeah. They leave their bags, so there's two reasons. They leave their bags on the trail because they think they're gonna see it and pick it up when they come back. They also leave their bags on the trail because don't you know they bought compostable bags and it just disappears when you fling it off in the trail. So we did have a little tiny campaign where I was on King 5 News. I said poop bomb, and Eric Wilkinson went nuts over it. But we got great coverage for it because it makes a poop bomb, and the plastic, it's just the worst. So yeah, clearly he was annoyed by it.
Thank you very much, you guys.
Yeah.
For coming.